Okay, so today we're going to be going through an application that we've already gone through, but we're going to be going over it again because it closes today. Let's just double check and make sure that is still, that there was a deadline on there for the time. All right, so we're going to be going through a grant application today. If you follow on Instagram, the grant calendar is already up, so it tells you what day we'll be doing what application. So go ahead and follow on Instagram so you can grab that content. You'll know what day we're going live, and you will also know what application we're doing on what day. Okay, so you can go ahead and grab that over there. So today we're going to be going through the America's Top Small Business. We've already done it. We've already gone through this application, but we're going to do it again because today's the deadline. Oh, good news. Deadline was extended. All right. So it's extended to July 21st, and you have until midnight. Well, 11:59 technically, July 21st to submit it. Okay. So last time we got up to the highest we've ever done is 3,000. I'm going to give you guys a challenge today. We're going to get those up to 5,000. All right. So I know we can do it because every time I ask for the likes, you guys exceed my expectations. So we're going to get to 5,000 today. All right. That's the goal. While we're listening to the requirements, just go ahead and double tap the screen. Right. You're getting all this good free information. Might as well just help a sister out. Get the word out. Have the algorithm favoring this content. Go ahead and start liking this live. Share this live. Comment, engage, so that the TikTok algorithm shows your girl some love. All right. So first and foremost, we're gonna go over America's Top Small Business Grant, and this is through the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. Okay, so that's first and foremost. Second of all, you need an existing profile to be able to apply for this opportunity. All right. So it's going to prompt you to create a profile so that you can go ahead and apply for this grant. Now we're going to go through all of the questions and all of the prompts. And then they've made a note here that, that the deadline was extended from July 7th, which would have been today, which is why we're going through the application today. And it's extended till July 21st. All right. So, yeah. So we're going to go through this application real quick. 1 second. Let me see something. Oh, that is interesting. Okay. So it says, first and foremost, whenever we go through an application, we do a couple things. First and foremost, we pull up a blank Google sheet. All right. Really important because you're going to need that at some point. Keep all your answers really organized. Copy the questions that they're asking. Put them into a Word document. Make sure that you are putting your answers down to these questions because you can reference them another time and you can make use of them. All right. So that's one thing. Another thing is we want to make sure that we are going through another high level thing that we do every single live is that we go through the requirements. And when I say requirements, I don't mean that we are using it to disqualify ourselves. We go through the requirements because we want to know how we are going to align our answers, how we're going to align the inputs that we put into the application with what the grant funder is looking to fund. All right. If it's completely misaligned, It's up to you to choose how you're going to spend your time doing that. But if it is aligned, then you have the opportunity to go ahead and apply, but make sure that you're using keywords, key terms, things that they want to hear. Okay. So while we're sitting here going through this, go ahead and run up this live. I want to try to see if we can get to 5,000 likes before this hour is up. All right. All right, so it says apply for ATBS today. It says we're searching nationwide for America's top small business. Are you up for the challenge? Enter today for a chance to win our $25,000 grand prize. Plus, finalists win a free U.S. Chamber of Commerce membership, an article on CO, which I'm sure is one of their like newsletters or something like that, and an invitation to our in-person event and more. Application deadline is July 21st, so they just extended that. All right. So it says, please click here for a shareable one-page PDF on eligibility and how to apply. All right. So we're going to do that. And then we're going to go through this real quick. So it says, what they're looking for is ingenuity, grit, and perseverance. All right. Those are the 3 keywords that they have up on this eligibility page. And it says the U.S. Chamber is searching nationwide for America's top small business. Are you up for the challenge? Enter today, blah, blah, blah. All right. To apply for this grant, you have to be a U.S. Legal resident of the United States. So I'm assuming that if you are if you are part of this organization and you have majority ownership of that business that you're using to apply, you have to be the legal resident. All right. Right. Okay. Your business must be a for-profit business operating for at least 1 year, primarily within the United States. Okay, so they're saying that this has to be for profit. If you own a nonprofit organization, I don't think this should be information to use to disqualify yourself, but definitely consider how you're going to use that information to be able to make a decision about whether you're going to apply or not. It says your business must have fewer than 250 employees or gross less than 20 million for both 2021 and 2022. All right. So those are requirements to apply for this grant. The requirements are pretty straightforward. So it doesn't really say anything about gender. It doesn't really say anything about race or any like being part of any marginalized group. It pretty much is talking about you being a legitimate business. And I would think so if this is through the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. All right. All right, let's also look through some of their frequently asked questions. Who's eligible to apply? We already know that. How do you apply? We're going to do that now. How's the winner chosen? That's definitely a good question to look through. So it says all applicants will be judged on their application answers, which is why I want to go through the application answers with you so that you can try to position yourself for better funding. All right. We will choose 70 top businesses across America, 10 in each of 7 regions. The highest scoring business in each region will be named a finalist. I think they meant once. Once those regional finalists are named, America's top small business, and one will, reach, I think they meant one of those businesses, will be named top small business and win a prize of $25,000, right? Cash prize. All right. So then... So they're saying that you can win the $25,000 plus additional cash, plus additional non-financial prizes. So don't discount those because sometimes those come in really clutch. We talked a little bit about that yesterday. So they have a full breakdown on prizes on their website, all right? If you want to look and see what those are. There's no application fee. That's good to know. Also, the deadline was extended. Another good question being asked is, my sales decreased from 21 to 22. Will my application still be considered? Should I apply? It says yes, you should still apply. In your application, be sure to address the sales figures you reported and outline your business plan or strategies for growth in 2023 and beyond. So if you find yourself in a position where we're going through the application and you see that there's a difference between what you earned in year 21 versus 22, and there's a decrease, I don't think that you should use that to disqualify yourself, okay? Now, another good question that is being asked here is, how can I strengthen my application? It says a strong application will draw a clear and concise picture. So they want you to be clear and concise, all right? Picture of how the business was started, what makes it unique, how it has overcome challenges. Make sure your complete application clearly describes your business's relationship with its community, customers, and employees. Okay, so all of those aspects are important to this this funder. All right. Submitting additional materials such as your business plan can strengthen your application and help us know your business, but it's not required. All right. So we talked about this a little bit, not in great detail. I think I might do a live about it, but there's certain assets that you should have that definitely strengthen your applications. Business plans are one, pitch decks are another one, and also consider having a letter of support. So if you partner with another company, maybe you're new and you're just building this thing out, and you have a letter of support from a company that's more established that can vouch for your outputs, that definitely gives you a stronger application than just an idea if you have one. All right. Okay, another thing that they're going to ask you is for a statement of revenue, right? It says that we will accept a letter stating your company sales in 21 and 22 signed by both your president or CEO, which could be you or someone else, and your accountant. So if you don't have an accountant, this again is going to be a really good reason to have one, right? Because some of these higher levels of funding, over 10,000 to 15,000, may request this kind of information, okay? Or a copy of the first page of your company's tax return, such as a form 1120. All right. Do not submit your company's entire tax return. While your statement of revenue is not required to submit your application, if you're chosen as a finalist, you will be required to submit one. All right. So I was about to mention that, but I'm glad they did. All right. So again, thank you. I hope that you really do consider how much this is going to impact your ability to be funded in the future. So if you don't have an accountant or someone that manages your records, consider having one for someone that can vouch for you. Okay. They give you a number where you can call. What states are in each region? They're saying Eastern region is Connecticut, Delaware, Maine, and Maryland. So it's a lot of the U.S. I'm not going to go through these. You guys can go through this if you want. And then there's a full guide relating to this. All right. So let's see. And there's also an email address that if you have any questions, to be sure to email them and ask. All right. Any questions? Any questions? Okay. I'm going to take that as a no. Okay, so let's go ahead and start the application. If you guys can, I would say go ahead and build out your profile while we're getting this done. All right. Because you will need this information to register. And then when you're building out your profile, please remember to use your business email address, okay? This is the email address that is tied to your business name, your website. If you can avoid it at all, don't use the Gmail, all right? So we're going to go ahead and do that. All right. Okay. So whenever someone gets to the like the actual application, let me know so that we can get started. Okay. All right, so when you start the application, the first set of pages is where it says start your application. So it's asking your business achievement category. This is going to be America's Top Small Business, and then ask you for your business name, and then I will click save and next, right? The next set of questions are going to be eligibility criteria. It's going to ask you if you're a legal resident of the United States, is your business for profit, and is your business based in the U.S.? All those answers should be yes. Was your business founded at least 1 year prior to May 4th, 2023? I'm assuming this has to be yes, right? For you to be eligible and meet the criteria for them to be able to fund you. So this grant opportunity would not be good for businesses that are just trying to field a new idea. A lot of people come on the live and they ask, what can we apply to grants if we just have an idea? Yes, you can. Not all grants are available for that. I would say this one might disqualify you, okay? Does your business have fewer than 250 employees? It should, right? For you to be one of the criteria for this application. And then do you agree with all of the award rules, including potentially attending the award ceremony? So you have to agree to all of the award rules in order to be able to win this award, all right? Next. So we're going to click save and next. And then next is just general information, like just things to identify you, like your name, your title, your email address. So you're going to you're going to put your business's email address. All right. When it says applicant phone number, you're going to put, when it says applicant phone number, you're going to put the business's phone number. If you do not have a business phone number, this will also be a really good time to consider getting one. Hey, Shabrene, how are you, dear? All right, so we've already done this application, Shabrene. This is America's Top Business. It was supposed to close today, but the site said that they extended it to the 21st. So if you haven't done it, then you could just hang around. But if you did do it already, then you can pretty much either hang out or go do something else, because we've already done this one. So not much has changed. Excuse me. Okay, so how did you hear about America's Top Business? I've been asking that for anyone who joins the lives, that they put Mental Money Podcast as how they heard, because we've been able to foster really great relationships outside of doing these grant applications and get like expert-led sessions and other opportunities from being identified as one of the sources where attention is being drawn to the application. So if you can please put Mental Money Podcast, I would greatly appreciate that. But if you did not hear about it from Mental Money Podcast, you could put any of the other applicable answers. All right. Is your business currently a U.S. Chamber member? I put no because it's not. But if you are, then you can go ahead and put that. All right. Is your business a member of a local or state chapter? I also put no. So I'm going to click save and I'm going to put next. So then for business industry, they have a bunch of different options. There's a drop down. You can select which one is appropriate to you. But there was not an option for the industry that I was in, so I put other. And then I typed in what the industry was. All right. And then it's going to ask you, as far as business information, what date you were established. Excuse me. And then it's also going to ask you for your business phone number. It's also going to ask you for your website. So you're going to put all that information in. All right. Next is going to be your business address. And then it's going to be your business mission statement, as well as the business founder's first name, last name, title, and email, right? Now, if you have an employee information, it's going to ask you for that information as well. So current number of full-time employees, current number of part-time employees, 2022 total number of full-time employees, 2022 number of full-time employees, same thing for 2021, all right? Did your employee count increase or decrease from 21 to 22? You can put the appropriate answer that's relevant to your business. Then they said, do you anticipate hiring more employees in 23? You can put the information that's relevant to your business too. If you plan on hiring more, then put yes. If you don't, then put no. So social media information. So I have a rule when it comes to social media. You are judged on this content pretty severely. So if you do not have a business page for your business that is strictly business, put LinkedIn, okay? Or don't put anything at all, because all these options are optional anyway. Do not put anything where it's like inappropriate to your business, because you will, again, be judged on that content. So forego it if possible. Next is going to be financial information. So this tab is asking about financial information relevant to your business. So the first question is what your gross revenue was in 21. So gross revenue, for anyone who might not be familiar with that term, is all in what you made. Before taxes, before you paid yourself, before expenses, before every single thing, what did you take home? All right. Same thing, question for 22. Did your revenue decrease from 21 to 22? You're going to put whether the answer is yes or no. It's a one button selection thing. All right. What's one important factor, what's in one important financial or operational success milestone your business reached in 22? So you're going to answer that question that's appropriate to you. All right. Operational success or financial success. Financial success could mean that you met some kind of quota, right? That could be like maybe you exceeded. Well, first of all, you should have projections for your year. Hard and fast rule for me. If you do not have a business budget, you don't have projections, you don't have a plan, I'm going to take the liberty to say you don't have a business. Okay. So what are your plans? What are you projecting to make? What are you planning to do? If you met or exceeded those milestones, for example, let's say your base of projections were that you wanted to make $10,000 a month in quarter one. If you exceeded that by $2,000, you look at the percentage between the difference of percentage between those two values, and you can describe that as a milestone. There's 800 words that you can put here. So we talk about, maybe you had a 10% increase in profitability in quarter one that you were able to realize outside of your Q1 projected income, projected finances, projected whatever word you want to use to describe how you guys structure your finances, right? That is a milestone. Another financial milestone would be maybe if you onboarded or hired someone who is now helping you make more money. So let's say you hired an individual, because you should be able to quantify, for the most part, sales wise, what someone should bring in, right? Let's say the industry average for a sale individual in the beauty industry, if you're selling like a really niche product or something, is $100 a day, right? So now that's the baseline data. You have that. They've exceeded, or that at the minimum on average, after you've worked with this person for 6 months or a year or whatever, technically a year, because it's 2023 now. They're asking about 2022 data. So let's say you hired or onboarded a sale individual, and then the average take home every single day for that individual is $100 a day. That's 100. That's 365 times 100. Do the math, right? So that's an important financial success and milestone that will impact your business, because that person, even though you're paying them, is bringing you or contributes X amount to your gross revenue, right? So you can say, hiring this person brought in an additional X amount, and then that X amount contributes to 20, 30, 40, 50% of our total gross revenue in 2022. Okay, so that's how you're going to structure that answer, so that you're sounding informed, educated, and that you're putting down information that will let them know that you understand how you're running your business financially. All right. Operational successes could be implementing systems. It could be automating some processes. It could be maybe improving the quality of your product. That can be an operational success. Maybe you were able to cut costs but maintain the quality of your product. That is definitely operational as well. Somewhat financial and operational. So you can kind of intermingle those answers so they kind of fit into the two. So those are some of the answers that you would put as far as what milestones your business reached. Now, they don't have to be that relevant. Maybe you got into an accelerator. You can use that information to leverage this answer too. Operational success would mean that you are getting professional development, right? So if you're going into an accelerator, you're learning things. That is professional development. So an operational success would be that you were able to join an accelerator and gain information and gain insight in how to become a better blank in your industry, right? Whatever your title is, whatever the outcome of that accelerator was. So, with that being said, does anyone have any questions about that? And or do you have an operational or financial success that you want to talk about, that you want help framing? Let me know, because we have 800 words here. This is really an opportunity to shine, make that thing, like put that thing on blast. This is a great opportunity to really talk about how you're running your business, operating your business, and you're intentional about it. All right. So, anyone have a question before we move on? We're already halfway through this live and we have 11 likes. I was trying to get to 5K. So, if you guys want help, go ahead and run this up. That would be great. You guys have done it in the past. I know you can do it again. I trust you. And we are excuse me, just have to see something. And we're going to do it. I have faith in us. All right. So that's that. All right. So what's one important financial? Okay. So we already answered that question. The next financial document or financial piece that they're asking in this financial tab is going to be your company's 120 tax, 1120. So 1120 is a type of return that you can file, or a letter that states revenue in 2021 and 2022 signed by both your president and your accountant. This information is required to verify that an applicant qualifies as a small business. Okay. If you do not have an accountant, consider getting one, please. Okay. A lot of people don't know that an accountant is not it's not the most expensive thing you'll ever purchase in your life for your business, or it's not the most expensive investment that you'll make for your business, but it is the one that yields the highest return on your investment. So please figure out who you can talk to that's qualified, verified, and get sitting with someone. I have a call with my CPA after this. I do not make decisions without that lady. Okay. On my mama. I want to buy some assets. I do not make decisions without her. Period. I need to know what my tax implications are. I need to know, if there's things like this that are coming up, I want to know that there's someone in my corner who's qualified that's going to be able to help me answer these questions. All right. So once you have that document, or if you have that document, there's a section right here where we're going to upload it. All right. So we're going to click next. Now it gets to the questions that are going to be scored, and there are about 10 of them. Okay. All right. So tell us about your business. It says describe your business, including but not limited to it. So these answers have about 800 words. So 800 words is pretty significant. Please make use of as much space as you possibly can. All right. So tell us about your business. Describe your business, including but not limited to its history, number of years in business, its product or services offered. Consider including what makes your business unique. What about your business makes you proud? What awards and recognition your business has received, and what you attribute the success of your and what to what do you attribute the success of your business? Okay? Very long ask, in my opinion. Like, you're asking for a lot of information. But they're trying to qualify your business and how you perform, okay? So first and foremost, tell us about your business. When they're asking this question, you can answer it a few different ways. You can start by talking about what kind of business model you have, but I would always introduce the business. So the business name, let's say the business name was, I have a Pepsi can on my counter on my desk, so we're just gonna call it Pepsi, right? Let's say it was Pepsi. You'd say Pepsi is a naturally flavored beverage that blank, right? So we would talk about what you are as a business first, and then you describe your business next, because that's the next answer, or that's the next question. So the next question is, describe your business. Always and always, always, always describe your business in terms of what you do, in terms of the problem that you're solving for that marketplace. All right. So that would require that you know what market that you're in. Cool. All right. So now, it also asks to mention any limited, including but not limited to its history. So talk about its history a little bit. Why you got started, what prompted your business to go into the market that it is, what prompted you to solve the problem. You can kind of paint a story around what it is that your business, why your business started. And when you're talking about, if you're talking about yourself as the founder in your business, be sure to do it in a way that's talking about your journey to coming into the business. It doesn't want to know about like you personally. They want to know about you in regards to your ability to run and operate this business. All right. Number of years in business, easy. You guys got that. It's products and or services offered. So your product is going to be, we want to talk about the benefits and the features to the consumer that is going to be consuming that product. All right. Same for services. It doesn't matter if it's a product or a service. You're going to talk about its features and its benefits. You don't have to talk about it like, oh, our end user does this or our end user does that. You could just talk about it in terms of it. You could talk about it in terms of our signature service, or our products are designed to, and then you list the benefits and the features. All right. So consider what makes your business unique. Depending on what industry you're marketing or market you're in, this is going to vary pretty widely. But the value proposition is not, it doesn't have to be something that's innovative per se. Like, and people take the word innovative and they automatically attribute it to in technology. And we've had a lot of that, right? It does not have to be technological for it to be innovative. You could just do something different than what most people do. And I give the example of like lashes, right? So let's say you own a lash brand and you found this unique method to make the lash last longer than the typical 2-week period, or your lashes don't shed as quickly, or you, instead of 3 hours to get the first set done, you can do it in half an hour. That will set you apart. Okay. That is something that you do differently, because you can actually quantify, especially if it's time, you can quantify how much money you're saving, the consumer, why your prices could be competitive because of this unique way or different way that you do things. Okay. All right. So now, what about your service makes you proud, right? So it could be the way that you do things. It could be the way you stumbled across the solution, or the way that you are doing things differently, or maybe the recognition that you're getting from it, or maybe you're doing something that is not being done or acknowledged. You can definitely talk about that from a bunch of different angles, but just acknowledge what makes you proud as the business owner, and frame it in the sense of the user using it, the how the business idea came to life, or something along those lines. It's not really asking you like, oh, I'm proud of the business because I started it and no one else in my family was starting it. Nobody else in my family has a business. No, they want to understand about your actual business inside of your business, the structure, finances, organizations, processes. What makes you proud about it? Does it run efficiently? Have you found an efficient way to do things? That would make you proud, right? Because you're able to realize X, Y, Z. 800 words. So make sure you use all of that space and time, all right? Now, I was going to ask you about what awards and recognition your business has received and to what you attribute the success of your business. Now, awards and recognitions does not necessarily have to be like a physical award, like, oh, you got top 10, your top 10 businesses in your state or city or whatever. It could be that you won a recognition, could be that you got a recent news feature, right? You could talk about a media mention that your business was recognized as a credible source. So you wouldn't say necessarily that, oh, we our recognition is that we got mentioned in the New York Times or something. You would say, you would frame it in the case of one of our most recent business awards or recognitions were that CNN or New York Times recognized our business as a credible source in this space, in this marketplace, right? And then we were mentioned as it pertains to this topic. That is a recognition, all right, in the media. All right. Recognitions could be things that clients give you. Feedback. If clients give you feedback and they let you know, hey, this is the best product I've ever used in my entire life, you could talk about how your clients recognize that your product is premium, how your product is really beneficial, things that they've been able to see and improvements that they've been able to make as a result of interacting with your product. So that is how you can answer that question to this grant application. Okay. So now, thank you, Temi, and welcome. I don't think I've seen your name before, but welcome if this is your first time here, okay? So, that's just all question number 1. They literally stuck like 6 questions in here, 6 or 7 questions in here, but they're giving you 800 words to articulate this. So make sure your points are clear, make sure they're concise, but also make sure that you are giving them real good, juicy information that they can kind of latch onto that makes you seem like the qualified and verified business owner that you are. All right. So question number 2, this is my first time. Hi, welcome, dear. All right. So number 2, describe your business's path to success. Please include how you overcame any obstacles to attain outstanding business achievement and why you believe diversity, equity, and inclusion inside and outside the workplace should be a priority for the business, right? If you are a minority woman in business, this question is literally for you, right? So diversity, equity, and inclusion is literally all of us, period. All right. Those are things that we're striving for. And you could talk about the net impact of those business achievements that you've been able to realize as one of the people that need to be accepted in all 3 of those spheres. Right. So that would be inside the workplace. Describe your business's path to success. You could address that in a couple different ways too. You could talk about, success. First of all, you have to define success, right? Because success is going to be very different to a lot of people. So our business quantifies or qualifies success as we've taken the path to realize the success by, and then you can give the answer for what is success to you. Okay. Please include how you overcome any obstacles to obtain those business achievements. So if you are a minority woman in business and maybe you did not have the strongest business sense, you could talk about how you gained the support of consultants. You did professional business development. You could talk about how you're always thirsty for knowledge and you're wanting to learn and grow in different ways. And that's what you've done to go over any obstacles that you've had, right? And this is, of course, related to the achievement for the success piece before. So remember to tie all of those pieces in, okay? And why do you believe diversity, equity, and inclusion inside and outside the workplace should be a priority for the business community? You know what? If you're part of the community, I would say to connect with, if you're part of the 6-figure grant winner community, and the link is in the bio if you want to join. It's a free group as of right now. There's a young lady in there by the name of Sharita. She literally creates groups within organizations to factor in for diversity, equity, and inclusion. She's literally the person that I go to when I have questions like this. Not to say not I can answer this, but to say if I needed clarity, Sharita would be the person I would go to. Okay. So just saying, if you're interested in having an even better and more succinct professional expert answer to this question, she's there. All right. So, but again, for you, the reason why you believe in it is mostly going to be a function of the fact that you experience it and you need to experience it, and how you have you can demonstrate the net impact for you as a minority when those things are in place, when diversity, equity, and inclusion are realized, how that impacts you as an owner, right? You have to exist inside and outside of your business. And you have to exist, you know how you perform when those fears are accounted for, you know how you perform. You know how much more challenging it is when it's not. So you can talk about why it is a priority in the business community and why you are going to implement these things within your business as well. All right. Any questions? Okay. So no questions. Well, if you have a question, you can keep typing it. But if you don't, I'm gonna keep talking until I see one. All right. So describe your business's contribution to your local economy. Now, this is another question that you might have to get creative with. When I say creative, I don't mean to lie. I mean, consider how you can if you don't, right? If you don't currently contribute to your local economy, you could just talk about the plans that you do have, right? Contributing to your local economy can be that if you have a product or service, a product mostly. Let's say you source your product or your ingredients or your whatever you need to produce this product locally. All right. That could be one way. Another way is that you could talk about how even if you have a service, you could talk about how you want to partner with charities or local organizations to help meet their objectives in the form of like a strategic partnership, right? So there's different ways that you can contribute. Contributing doesn't only have to be money. It doesn't have to be time. If you own a product, let's say you own a skincare product, your contribution could be that every single month when a woman's shelter or a woman's charity or something goes to produce their like feminine hygiene products or anything like that, you offer product, right? That's how you help. It might not be money, but it could be, Sharita, I was just talking about you. It might not be money per se. Hey, we've already done this application, Sharita. So if you want, I think you should be all set. We've already done this one. If you want to hang around, please do, by all means. But if you don't want to, then that's fine too. This is the America's Top Small Business. You have access to the replay. They extended the deadline. It was supposed to be today. That's why I did it today. Or I was doing it again today, but they extended the deadline to July 21st. So we have time to go over it if we need to like review application answers or anything. All right. So it says, describe your business's contribution to local economy. So we were just going over how that could look like. And they even give you an example. It could be job creation. It could be economic growth in some way, revitalization. So, for example, I know a lot of big real estate deals are being done in like cities like Philadelphia and Detroit and Detroit, Michigan, and DC and certain places in Chicago, because they're trying to like buy the block and increase the value of homes in those areas, right? And the just local economy. When you're developing those areas, that means that stores are coming, other things are coming. So that could be part of your revitalization plan, or how you help grow or revive the economy in your community, right? That could be a couple different answers too. So I gave you some examples. If you have any questions, let me know. All right. So I'm really disappointed because we're at 138 likes, and today we were supposed to get up to 5,000. You guys, damn. All right. So question number 4, describe how your business model is designed for sustainable long-term profitability. Tell us, for example, how your business has evolved or adapted to changes brought on by COVID, inflation, hiring challenges, or other external forces. All right. So I love this question because in the six-figure funding formula training, that's what we're actually talking about today. This is your risk mitigation plan right here. All right. So you cannot control certain things. How are you going to account for them, right? COVID is a really big one. If you can create a risk mitigation plan around unforeseen circumstances, what they're really asking you is how you plan to pivot, and how you remain successful during that pivot, right? Have you accounted for or thought about the things that are outside of your control and what you plan on doing in the hypothetical situation that these things happen? That's what this question is. But is your business model designed to sustain that? Business model is high level business model means that you've priced your product appropriately. You've accounted for, like, if it was COVID, you've accounted for maybe a virtual element. It could mean that you are, your pricing is, I don't know if I said pricing already. I'm kind of tired. Sorry. So pricing could be, making sure that your prices are set in a way that can account for any fluctuations in demand, right? That's going to all be part of long-term sustainability and profitability. Okay. So yeah. Hold on. Okay. So, if you have any hiring challenges, that was a really big one for me in my other company. It's just hard to find people to work for certain positions. What are you going to do in those cases, right? So how do you make up for those external forces that you have no control over? That is your risk mitigation plan. That is going to be outlined in your business proposal, your business plan, and your pitch deck. Oh, not pitch deck, more business plan, right? So that's why I think they're asking for a business plan and one of the additional attachments that you can upload. But if you have all 3, go ahead and put them. Roll them up and put them in there. All right. So how does your business meaningfully, question number 5, sorry. How does your business meaningfully differentiate from competitors in markets and or customer bases it serves? In other words, explain how your business has carved a distinct niche. Now, another really great question, because one of the things that really sets businesses apart, not necessarily from their customer, is by conducting a SWOT analysis. And SWOT stands for S stands for strengths, W stands for weaknesses, O stands for opportunities, and T stands for threats. All right. A SWOT analysis allows us to look at our competitors from a very high level. Like, hey, what are they doing good? Where are their opportunities? What are they doing well? Excuse me. Where are the opportunities for growth? Where are they weak? Because that is opportunity for you to come and swoop in and get those opportunities, right? And what threats exist in this marketplace? Not necessarily just inherent to your competitors, but you as well. If you're competing with them, you're probably going to be in the same space and have some of those similar threats. So how are you going to make up for it? Your risk mitigation plan can kind of talk about that as well. All right. So how does your business meaningfully differentiate from competitors in the market and or base it serves? Now, I think they put this base it serves part of the question in there because it's really difficult to move people from something that they know, like, and trust to something new, believe it or not, right? That's why certain pricing strategies allow you to kind of give them a taste of your product, but then eventually, hopefully, converting them long term, all right? But it's very difficult to do. So with that being said, what are you doing different than your competitors? The SWOT analysis will definitely tell you that. If you do not know how to conduct a SWOT analysis or you're intimidated by it at first, that's okay. Just think about your direct competitors and your indirect competitors. What is it that they do that gets their customers? You really have to think about this, though. This is not just like, oh, they have the best prices in town, because you don't want to compete on price. Because they lower their price, then you have to lower your price. And then they're going to lower their price, and you have to lower your price until we're down to something that's not profitable or sustainable, right? So no. We got to think about this from a very broad sense. So I'd love to give the example of a nail salon, right? Let's say your direct competitor is a nail salon that is right across the street from you. All right. What are you doing different, or down the block from you? How are you going to attract those customers and do something differently from the nail salon down the street? Maybe they've been there longer. That could be a strength of them. They have recognition. They just have notoriety because they've been there longer, right? So what is going to be your novel thing that you're going to do to introduce people that are passing by that place versus passing by yours? Are you going to be decorated different? Are you going to have a sign? Maybe your aesthetic is more Instagram or TikTok worthy. That could be like that. I don't think it's going to carve an entire niche for you, but if you can use that as a selling point, like you have like a floral wall where people can take pictures and like it's an opportunity to get your brand out and it's part of your marketing plan, that will set you apart. All right. Versus your indirect competitor is not the nail salon that's a town over. It's not somebody that's further from you. It's not somebody that is going to be, maybe even somebody that you would think of. But the nail salon, as far as the indirect competitor, is going to be anywhere your customer will go when both of you guys are shut down. All right. Let's say a customer passes by both nail shops and they're like, you know what? I need to get my nails done, and I have to do it by tomorrow night. I don't know what I'm going to do. These places won't open by the time I get there. Your indirect competitor is anywhere else your competitor will go. So CVS can be an indirect competitor. Maybe it's open later than you, so they can go to CVS and get some press-ons, right? It could be Amazon, because Amazon has next day. I'm going to call it next day shipping because they really haven't been shipping our stuff next day, but that's a whole nother conversation for another day. But they have next day shipping allegedly, and they can get a product that will be able to substitute you when you're not open. Okay. So this is anywhere else. Your indirect competitor is anybody else that your customer goes to when you don't exist. All right. Any questions on that? Either way, you're going to look at those two people and you're going to put yourself up against them. All right. And this might even bring you to the opportunity of finding something new and creative if you realize your business really doesn't do anything different, right? Maybe it's just, and I'm not trying to be shady. People like always take information the wrong way online. We have to be objective business owners. Maybe your idea sucks. Maybe it does. And that's okay. Now find something that makes it unsuck. Right? Maybe there's not something about it that's meaningful enough to draw attention away from one consumer base to another, because that's all we're doing when we compete. Well, who's going to have anybody's attention at any given point? So what are you doing differently that's going to get your attention and get those dollars in your doors? All right? Objective. I'm not trying to call you out. I'm trying to call the business idea out. And if you don't have somebody that you can talk to objectively and ask them to rip your business into pieces, you might have a hard time competing in this space. All right. What do you do differently? Why should we go with you versus them? Legitimate question. All right. So number 6 is going to be describe one recent business initiative or marketing campaign, operational pivot, technology adaptation or adoption, or leadership move, for example, the generating a revenue return on investment for your business. Please explain why the initiative was undertaken, what hoped for ROI was, and the actual results the initiative generated. So if you mention that a little bit further up with question 2, as far as the path to success, this is going to be, number 6 is going to be a good opportunity to expound on that. All right. Really great opportunity to expound on that. And this is going to run the gamut. But remember, we have 800 words to play around with. All right. Hi, Andrea. And thank you. So we have 800 words to play around with. So if I would go into great detail about this, especially the return on investment part. Again, if you do not have projections or plans financially for your business, you do not have a business. I said it. Somebody could take me up on it if you want to. I truly, truly can go back and forth about this for days. All right? You do not have a plan. You do not have a business. And here's why. Because the questions like this. If you wanted to generate a return on investment for something that you launched, how are you measuring that it got a return on investment? right? They're literally asking what the hope for ROI was. So that means that you had to plan in order to know what you would have actually supposedly done. So let's say, for example, now we're gonna bring it home. I'm not gonna just yappa, right? You put a marketing campaign in place thinking that this marketing that you put in 1,000 and you were gonna get 100,000. I'm using whole round numbers. It never works that way. All right. You put a marketing campaign in for 1,000. You think that it's going to generate this many eyeballs. You know what the average conversion rate is for your industry. And then you conservatively estimate against that. You say you're going to get an ROI of 10%. Why was the initiative undertaken? Because you needed to raise your profit margin by whatever. Because you're launching this new product. Because you want to, maybe you want to maybe you want to generate more sales or eyeballs on your product that does not perform the best, right? Maybe the initiative was that you created a bundle deal so that your best selling product was paired with your lowest selling product. And now you want to galvanize consumers to now use the lower selling product. That could have been the initiative. All right. So you generated this beautiful marketing campaign. You spent $1,000. You think you're going to generate $100,000. That's the ROI that you hope for. Was the result generated? No. And if it wasn't, you should know why. All right. Because you could have said yes. Or maybe you say you exceeded it. That'd be beautiful. That'd be a great answer. That's the ideal answer. Right. Because even with the plan, it may not go as you planned for, but you got a plan. Because even if you if you doesn't get what you're supposed to get, now you should be able to look through the data, because plans generate data. It creates baseline information for us to get feedback from and look and say, you know what? We did not get the ROI that we hoped for, but this is what was assessed. This is what we analyzed. And when we did this analysis, we realized that this is where we fell off. This is what we're going to implement to change. This is how we're going to get our next hope for ROI. Maybe you find that you need to put more money. Or maybe your marketing campaign was just not that great and you need to create new assets or test. Maybe you find that you need to A/B test, right? Who knows? But you only know when you implement and you plan. Any questions on that? We got 3 questions left. And we got 259 likes. This is so disappointing, y'all. I'm not gonna hold you. We're supposed to get to 5K today. I don't know. Maybe TikTok algorithm not showing the people who are supposed to be seeing this but we got to 3,000 last time I asked for 1.5. So I thought I could set a new goal for us, but it's okay. All right. So number 7, it says, describe how your business has displayed an exemplary level of leadership and community engagement, especially over the past year, to assist the needs of your employees, customers, and our greater community. So now number 7 is going to be piggybacking off of question number 3, kind of. 3 more so we're talking about the economics of it, but number 7 is more so asking for like the nitty gritty, like low level, very detailed information about how you engage with your community. You can talk about how that leads to some financial outcomes, but they're asking about engagement, right? So engagement could look like, again, picking very strategic partners within your product or your supply chain, and you're including more people within your community. That could be one, right? To assist the needs of employees, maybe you prioritize professional development for your employees. You pay for them to learn and grow and get new skills, right? Customers, maybe you're asking them for feedback consistently so you can improve your product, all right? And or the greater community, if depending on your product or your service, this question is asking about the net impact that you have as a business owner and what your business does, right? The problem that it's solving. So for example, I posted on 2 different videos about the multiplier effect. What if you are a tech startup? What about it? You got to be more specific, dear. All right? Because even if your product or your service does not have a specific impact, your business will have an impact on its employees. It will have an impact on the customers, All right. Those people have to go out into the community and exist. So what's the multiplying effect? How does your service or your product not only impact your bottom line, but it impacts the net outcomes for those people as well? Okay. I hope I answered that question. So, the multiplier effect, right? So this lady, and I'm going to give you this example because this is a really great example. This woman, was in housing, and she developed this product, and she's noticing that the area, she's not a product. She has houses. She's trying to sell the houses. And what happens is she's looking for tenants. The tenants are on the lower end of they're called classes in that space, right? So they're in the lower class. So they are not really able to afford the rent. They don't have good credit. They don't qualify in most traditional housing senses, right? So she was like, you know what? These people don't make a lot of money, and they need childcare. They need all these other things to be able to actually go out and make more money to pay their rent. So she created all these wraparound services. She accepted their applications, by the way, right? Other conditions, of course, to be able to protect her assets and protect her bottom line and, manage her cost. Yes. But she created all these other wraparound services, community engagement, medical clinics, child care, that helped the women and the people. I'm going to assume a lot of them are women because there's a lot of single mothers out there, right? So the mothers and the people in that community to be able to get the resources that they needed to be able to have a house. Her product was a house. The multiplying effect is that she has all these wraparound services now that are able to help these people live. Mind you, having a house already brings you money in other ways. You have your equity. It's an asset you can leverage. There's all these other ways she could have made her money with that property or those properties. But instead, she went, okay, let me not stop here. How else can I benefit these people in order to maintain my main product, which is the housing? $9 million she was able to do in funding. You throw money at projects like that because it has a multiplying effect. It just doesn't only impact your bottom line. It impacts the community as a whole, right? Please let me know if that was a good example, if you guys understand that multiplying effect conceptually. All right. And Set, I appreciate the love, bro. All right. So complete this sentence. My business would never have succeeded had it not been for blank. While we love and value qualities like grit, passion, and perseverance, which is something that they mentioned before in their qualifiers, right? Instead, so now they're saying don't talk about those things. Please offer one factor, decision, strategy that proved key to your success, such as, and this is an example, the decision to serve an underserved market, getting my business certified, investing in my employees, investing in CRM tools. So they've given a wide range of different things that could have led to some success. So again, for this example, we're going to define success. And then had it not been for whatever tool, insert whatever tool, certification, accelerator, business professional, maybe consultant, maybe investment that you made, maybe it was a team member that you hired, whatever. Think about the one thing that you did that took you from where you were in your business to where you wanted to be, and talk about that thing. But first define what success was before you were at that place, if that makes any sense. Okay, great. All right. So number 9, so I'm a little already over time. So I'm going to just try to blaze through the next 2 answers because all the other stuff are self-identifying stuff, and then you submit the application. All right. Share 1 or 2 of your business's top practices for hiring, training, and retaining employees, and explain how those strategies have generated results. All right. So this question is a little bit more pertinent to your business as well. So I'm just going to give some examples so you can kind of get an idea about how I would format this answer. So 2 of our top strategies for retaining employees could be that you give them equity in your business. So it incentivizes them to work there, right? Maybe you have where do I find this working? This application is on topsmallbusiness.uschamber.com. Okay. We haven't opened up the grant list yet. We're going to do that next week. So if you keep coming to the lives, if you're on Instagram, the live schedule is on Instagram. All right. So the next lives that you come to, we're going live again tomorrow. And I think Tuesday's the next one after that. But if you keep coming to the lives, I will let you know exactly where you can download that list. It has over 150 opportunities on there. We're just kind of setting up a back end thing so that you can actually have it and download it. All right. So just like on here, like on Instagram, and you'll be able to get up to date information about that. All right. No problem. So share one or two of your business's top best practices for hiring, training, and retaining employees. Okay, so for example, we talked about how you can incentivize them with equity, right? Or maybe you're competing on compensation. That could be a practice that you are competitively compensating because you want to hire, because you want to attract the top talent, right? You can also talk about training. Maybe you cross train. That could be really important. I did an interview with this lady. I don't remember her name, unfortunately. I could probably find the podcast episode, but we did a podcast episode where we talked about how one of the strategies that some of the most successful employers do, is that they hire internally for whenever there's a new initiative, but that doesn't mean that it's necessarily a title change. They can act as a consultant for the new initiative and they'll get paid a little bit more during their time that they're consulting, because it's more work, of course. Or they can do management oversight. And that strategy has been really good for them because the person who is the technical person in that field might not be a good leader. But you want them to have oversight about the technical aspects of that new person's job because it's going to impact them, period. So that means, all that to say, they get their opinions. Okay? They get their opinions about who else is going to be doing certain things because it's going to impact their job. It's going to impact the bottom line, but they might not want the position, or they might not be a good leader for that position. But they get insights about what a good technical person, a non-technical person, or a leadership person would have from the technical person so that they can hire internally in that regard. And because the person already knows the company, right? So then you're getting insight and you're getting the ability to have a good outcome expectation for the person that they're going to hire next based on someone's insight who's already inside the company. Great strategy, great process. All right. Just an example. So number 10, and the last question before we kind of move on. All right. Describe a recent and notably successful marketing, advertising, or branding strategy at your business. What aim did you achieve with this strategy? Because you should be aiming something. All right, y'all. I'm not making this up. We got to be having plans. All right. What did you plan, or what did you aim to achieve with the strategy? What were the concrete results that showed you the strategy was a success? Use the same format for the other question. All right. Use the same formats for the other questions as well. This was the question about the financials. All right. The ROI question, number 6. Use the same framework. Same exact framework. Period. All right. And that is going to be the framework that you use to answer number 10. Same framework for number 6. It's going to be the same framework used for number 10. All right. So we're going to click save and next. And then this part is just asking for identifying information, what you identify as a woman-owned business or minority-owned, those kind of things. What applies to your business as far as gender, whether you're in the government, state, federal level, stuff like that. Which of these issues have impacted your business in the last 12 months? Payment processing, access to capital. That should be something that you pick because we all need access to capital, right? Worker shortage, inflation, crime, supply chain issues, those kind of things. How do you view the government's role in your business? You can talk about that. And then how are you feeling about the future of your business? That's asking if you're optimistic, pessimistic, or no opinion. All right. Now, attachments. Attachments are going to be business plan and proposal if you have one. Now, they're also asking you for statements of goals. All right. What are your goals for your business? If you have a proposal, that will be in there. That will be pretty much outlined. Letter of recommendations. That is one of the assets that you should have. It doesn't necessarily need to be, sometimes it's called letter of intent. Sometimes it's called letter of support, or a letter of recommendation. It's going to be a business that you're either, that's well known, that you're strategically partnering with in some regard, that can vouch for you in your project, okay? You can also do customer reviews, video. It really could be, they're giving you an almost unlimited ability to access and to upload information that will strengthen your application. Put everything you got, all right? All of it. You need all of it, all right? Including the letter from your CPA or your accountant or whoever does your financials, all right? So make sure you have that, and then we're gonna add something, and then we're gonna go next. And then now there's terms and conditions, and you submit, and the application's done, all right? Remember to save your answers. All right. And that's that. Any questions before I go? Because it's already 1:11. I was supposed to get off at 1. I could probably hang out for like another couple minutes, and then I'm going to go. Because I have some pre-work to do before my next trainings. Set of trainings. So any questions? Comments? Concerns? Do you want to join the community? Because if you join the community, there's a lot more resources in there too. Whenever the 6-figure funding formula training goes live again, because right now we're on cohort 1, cohort 2 is going to open up soon. Whenever we open that training again, people in the community get a deep discount. Only for people inside of this dashboard, only this people inside of this back end. If you are not part of this back end, you do not get those discounts. You pay full price. So one of the benefits, when we have we're having live trainings next week about government nonprofit formation and trying to access resources through the government. That is a free training. Guess what? People in the back end, they got access to that, right? We're doing another training on fighting grant funding with a woman who's done over 100 million in grant fund, or 300 million. Her biggest contract was 100 million, right? Her biggest government grant fund was 100 million. She's done 300 million to date. All right. She's doing a training with us that people who want to access that back end. All right. Go to the link in my bio, hit 6-figure grant winner community. And that's there. It's a free community for right now. By the time you're hearing this next week, it will not be free. All right. If you think this information was good, I give way more resources on the back end. All right. It's free now. Grab your spot in that space, because next week it will not be. I'm telling you right now. I surveyed a bunch of people. I already signed up and used the additional discount for being in the community, period. There you go. Sharita says she already signed up and used the additional discount. It was supposed to be $100. She got it for $50. She got it for half off. And she'll be able to come in, do her Q&A, and have access to other resources as well. So next week it will not be. I surveyed a couple people inside of the community, and they told me that they would pay $250 for this. I'm not charging that much because we are small businesses and we need to keep our costs as nominal as possible, our expenses as low as possible, and still be able to access good information. All right. So I'm not trying to, I don't make, even the grant training that the lady did with, that she's doing on August 8th, I damn near begged her, almost sold my firstborn to get it that low, because it should not be that low. All right. But it is, because we need to be able to access information and good information at a very fair price, so that we're not taking money, precious resources outside of the business that we need to run and operate in order to just learn. Because we're going to have to do more. Learning is just one part. We have to implement too, right? And that's going to take more time, which is going to take away from us being able to make money. So I'm working on the back end to make sure that I am. Next week, that community will not be free. So if you join before Monday, you get to be grandfathered in. After Monday, you will not be grandfathered in. All right. You will be paying for it every single month to access the resources there. All right. So that's that. So I'm just letting you know. I'm going to go. So it's a pod. So that's the name of the community. Mental Money Podcast is the name of the community too. You're going to get the app. Get the app either on your iOS or your Android device. Put in that code, and that is how you're going to access the community. All right. So we got to 1.9K. I'm a grateful person. I'm gonna say thank you. Okay. And I'm gonna go mind my business. But next time I'm still going to run I'm still going to challenge us to get to 5K next time. All right. So yes, let me go because I really do have to go prepare. But I appreciate you guys. Do the grant application. If you're in the community, we're doing something called Feedback Friday next week. All right. So you can get feedback on your grant answers if you want them. But that's for community members. All right. So we will talk later. Have a good one and y'all be safe. All right. Thank you.